Morning is not just a time on the clock, it is a doorway. The way you step through it shapes the tone of everything that follows. Most people wake up already chasing something, already late in their minds, already burdened before the day has even begun. Their eyes open, but their awareness does not. Their bodies rise, but their spirit stays heavy. Today, you choose a different way. Before you try to control the day, you must first arrive within yourself. Sit still where you are. Let the body settle. Feel the weight of your body pressing down. Feel the support beneath you. Nothing needs to be achieved right now. There is nowhere to go. This moment is enough. When you stop running, you can finally listen. Bring attention to your breath. Do not change it at first. Simply observe it, like watching waves reach the shore. Notice how it enters. Notice how it leaves. With each breath, you are reminded that life is already happening without your effort. Slowly allow the breath to deepen. Inhale with awareness. Exhale with softness. Tension does not need to be forced out. It leaves when it is no longer needed. The breath teaches you an important lesson early in the morning. Power does not begin with force, it begins with control. A mind that can guide the breath can guide action. A mind that is restless in the morning will remain restless throughout the day. Calm is not weakness, calm is readiness. Straighten your spine gently, not stiff, not collapsed, upright, balanced, alive. Your posture is a reflection of your intention. When the spine is aligned, energy flows without resistance. When the body is careless, the mind follows. Sit as if you respect yourself, not to impress anyone, but to remind yourself of your own presence. Thoughts will arise, plans, worries, memories, expectations. Do not fight them. Fighting the mind only strengthens it. Do not follow them either. Following thoughts is like being pulled into a river without knowing where it leads. Simply observe. Let thoughts pass like strangers on a road. You acknowledge them, but you do not invite them inside. This returning, again and again, to the breath, to the body, to awareness, is the foundation of discipline. Discipline is not punishment, it is devotion. It is the willingness to return to what matters, even when the mind resists, especially when the mind resists. Stand up slowly. Let the movement begin from awareness, not habit. Feel the transition from stillness to motion. Each movement should be complete, not rushed, not careless. When you rush the morning, you train yourself to live in fragments. When you move with attention, you train yourself to be whole. Begin to wake the body. Stretch gently. The stiffness you feel is not an enemy. It is simply information. It tells you where attention is needed. Move the neck slowly, releasing stored tension. Roll the shoulders, open the chest. Allow the spine to awaken. Each joint you move is a reminder that your body listens when you listen to it. As the body warms, keep the breath steady. Breath connects effort to calm. Without breath, effort becomes strain. With breath, effort becomes training. Strength built without awareness is fragile. Strength built with awareness is enduring. After movement, return once more to stillness. Notice the difference. The body feels warmer, more awake. The mind feels clearer, more stable. This is not excitement. This is readiness. This is alignment. When body, breath, and mind move together, life feels lighter without becoming careless. Carry this awareness with you as the day unfolds. The world will test you. Noise will return. Pressure will appear. When it does, you do not need to escape. You return to what you practiced this morning. You return to the breath. You return to posture. You return to stillness within movement. Day one is not about changing your life. It is about changing how you meet it. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many believe it means forcing the body, silencing the mind, or pushing beyond limits every single day. This misunderstanding creates resistance before practice even begins. True discipline is quieter. It is built on consistency, not intensity. It is built on respect, not punishment. When you begin the morning with this understanding, your practice becomes sustainable instead of exhausting. As you continue your movements, keep attention on how you move rather than how much you move. Speed is not progress. Precision is. When you lift an arm, lift it fully. When you lower it with control. Each movement is an opportunity to train awareness. Awareness is the bridge between body and mind. Without it, movement is empty exercise. With it, movement becomes cultivation. The body remembers how you treat it. If you rush through practice, your body learns impatience. If you ignore discomfort, your body learns neglect. If you listen carefully, the body learns trust. Trust creates relaxation, and relaxation allows strength to grow without tension. This is why softness and power are not opposites. Softness is the condition that allows power to emerge naturally. As you breathe, notice where the breath feels shallow. These areas often mirror how you live. Tight chest reflects holding. Locked hips reflect resistance. Stiff shoulders reflect responsibility carried without balance. Do not judge these sensations. Judgment blocks learning. Observation opens it. When awareness is present, change happens on its own time. Your mind may start negotiating. It will ask how long this takes, whether it is working, whether you are doing it right. This is the mind seeking control. Control creates anxiety. Commitment creates peace. You do not need answers right now. You need presence. Stay with what is happening instead of what might happen later. As the body warms further, allow movements to flow together. Smooth transitions build coordination between breath and motion. When breath leads movement, the body follows without resistance. When movement ignores breath, fatigue arrives quickly. This coordination is not only physical, it trains you to move through life with less friction. Feel the ground under your feet. Stability comes from connection, not tension. Press gently into the ground and feel it support you. When you trust the ground, you stop gripping unnecessarily. When you stop gripping, energy moves freely upward through the body. Stability below creates freedom above. Moments of imbalance will appear. Do not rush to correct them. Let the body adjust naturally. Balance is not stiffness. Balance is continuous adjustment. Life works the same way. Those who fear imbalance become rigid. Those who accept adjustment become resilient. Pause briefly between movements. These pauses are not breaks. They are moments of integration. In stillness, the body absorbs what it has learned. The mind catches up. Without pauses, practice becomes mechanical. With pauses, practice becomes intelligent. Notice how your awareness expands. Sounds become clearer. Sensations become sharper. This clarity is not created by effort. It appears when unnecessary tension drops away. This is the state you want to carry into the rest of the day. Not alertness fueled by stress, but alertness supported by calm. Your practice is not separate from daily life. How you stand here is how you stand in conversation. How you breathe here is how you respond under pressure. The morning does not end when practice ends. It continues through every action that follows. When resistance appears, do not label it as failure. Resistance is a signal that change is happening. Stay steady, stay simple. Return to the basics again and again. Breath, posture, awareness. These are not techniques, they are anchors that keep you present when the world pulls you outward. This path does not demand perfection, it demands sincerity. Show up fully even when energy is low. Especially when energy is low. Consistency reshapes identity over time. Identity reshapes behavior. Behavior reshapes destiny. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the absence of unnecessary movement. As your practice continues, you begin to notice how much effort you normally waste. Muscles engage when they do not need to. The mind reacts before it understands. Energy leaks through impatience, tension, and distraction. Morning practice is the art of sealing these leaks, one breath at a time. When you slow down, awareness sharpens. You begin to feel subtle shifts in balance, in breath, in attention. These small sensations are usually drowned out by noise and speed. In the quiet of the morning, they become teachers. They show you where you are disconnected and where you are present. Nothing needs to be fixed immediately. Seeing clearly is already progress. Return to the breath again, not as a technique, but as a companion. The breath is always honest. It reflects your inner state without judgment. When the breath is rushed, the mind is rushed. When the breath is heavy, the mind is burdened. When the breath becomes smooth, the mind follows. You do not command this change. You allow it. As you hold a posture or maintain a slow movement, notice the urge to escape. The body may ask to stop. The mind may ask for distraction. This urge is not a sign of weakness. It is a doorway. On the other of this doorway is stability. If you stay just a little longer without force, the discomfort often dissolves into strength. This teaches patience in a way words cannot. Feel how effort and relaxation coexist. Too much effort creates rigidity. Too much relaxation creates collapse. The middle path is alive. It requires constant listening. This listening is what refines practice over time. You are not copying a form. You are discovering balance from the inside. Attention should fill the body evenly. Many people live in their heads, disconnected from the lower body. Bring awareness down through the spine, into the hips, the legs, the feet. Feel the weight travel downward. When awareness is grounded, the mind settles. Grounded awareness creates emotional stability without suppression. The morning is a mirror. Whatever state you cultivate here will echo throughout the day. If you practice irritation, you will carry it with you. If you practice patience, it will appear when needed. The practice is simple, but the effects are far-reaching. This is why consistency matters more than duration. Notice moments of silence between thoughts. They may be brief, but they are real. Do not try to hold on to them. Grasping creates tension. Simply recognize them and continue. Over time, these moments grow naturally. Silence is not something you achieve. It reveals itself when you stop interfering. As the body becomes steady, awareness expands beyond the body. Sounds, light, and space are perceived without reaction. This openness is not distraction, it is inclusion. You are not retreating from the world. You are learning how to meet it without losing yourself. Every correction you make should be gentle. Aggression toward the body hardens the mind. Kind firmness builds trust. Trust allows deeper work to happen safely. This applies to training and to life. Pressure without care leads to burnout. Care without direction leads to stagnation. Balance allows growth. Your posture is a quiet statement. It says whether you are present or absent, willing or resistant. Align the body not to look disciplined, but to feel clear. Clarity reduces inner conflict. When conflict reduces, energy becomes available for purposeful action. This practice does not promise immediate results. It promises something more reliable. Gradual refinement, day by day, tension softens, awareness deepens, reactions slow down. These changes are subtle, but they are stable. Stability is what carries you through difficulty without breaking. As the practice draws you inward, remember that the goal is not isolation, it is integration. You cultivate inner stillness so that movement becomes precise. You cultivate silence so that words become meaningful. You cultivate patience so that action becomes effective. What you shape here becomes the foundation for how you walk, speak, work, and respond. Under pressure, awareness without action remains incomplete. Action without awareness becomes reckless. Morning practice is where these two are trained together. As you continue, notice how intention forms before movement. Every action begins as a subtle decision. When intention is unclear, movement becomes scattered. When intention is steady, movement becomes efficient. Let the breath guide the rhythm of your actions. Inhale prepares, exhale releases. When you respect this rhythm, the body moves with less resistance. Forcing movement against the breath creates strain that accumulates quietly over time. Many people live in this strain without noticing it. Practice makes it visible. Notice how the mind reacts when effort increases. It may tighten, rush, or judge. These reactions are habits, not truths. Habits can be observed. What can be observed can be softened. As awareness grows, reactions lose their urgency. You begin to choose responses instead of repeating patterns. Possession does not mean perfection. It means sincerity in each moment. If a movement is slightly off, adjust without frustration. Frustration is wasted energy. Adjustment is intelligent energy. This attitude transforms mistakes into teachers rather than obstacles. Feel how the body organizes itself when given time. Muscles coordinate. Balance improves. Breath deepens. These changes do not require force. They require patience. Patience allows the nervous system to learn. When the nervous system learns, strength becomes usable rather than rigid. As the practice continues, attention naturally turns inward. This is not withdrawal, it is refinement. By simplifying input, you sharpen perception. When perception sharpens, small imbalances are corrected before they grow. This applies to posture, emotion, and thought. Notice how the jaw, eyes, and hands often hold unnecessary tension. These areas reflect mental habits. Soften them deliberately. Relaxing the face relaxes the mind. Relaxing the hands reduces the urge to control. These small adjustments have wide effects. Between movements, maintain continuity of awareness. Do not let the mind wander just because the body pauses. Stillness is part of movement. Movement is part of stillness. When you stop dividing them, practice becomes seamless. Feel the vertical line of the body. Weight drops downward. Awareness rises upward. This opposition creates stability without stiffness. When weight floats upward or collapses downward, balance is lost. Aligning these forces teaches you how to remain stable under pressure. The practice begins to reveal personal patterns. You may notice impatience when movements are slow, or doubt when instructions are simple. These reactions are valuable information. They show how you approach challenges in daily life. Training the body becomes a way to train character. Do not compare today's practice to yesterday's. Comparison pulls attention away from the present. Each day has a different quality. Learn to work with what is available rather than wishing for what is not. This adaptability is a form of strength often overlooked. As fatigue appears, differentiate between discomfort and danger. Discomfort can be observed and softened. Danger requires respect and adjustment. Learning this difference builds trust in your own perception. Trust reduces fear. Reduced fear allows deeper focus. Breath, posture, and awareness continue to cycle. When one weakens, return to the others. They support each other naturally. This triad is simple, but it is complete. You do not need complexity to progress. You need consistency. The body begins to feel unified rather than segmented. Movements initiate from the center and travel outward. When the center is stable, the limbs move freely. This principle applies beyond physical practice. A stable center allows clear decisions and measured actions. As the practice deepens, effort becomes quieter. The body works, but the mind remains calm. This calm effort is sustainable. It prepares you not just for training, but for responsibility, conflict, and pressure. Morning practice is not preparation for an ideal day. It is preparation for reality. You train steadiness so that when uncertainty appears, you do not collapse into reaction. You train awareness so that when challenges arise, you see clearly before acting. This is how practice moves from the mat into life, not through philosophy, but through embodied experience. Each deliberate breath, each mindful movement, each moment of observation reshapes how you meet the world. Consistency is the silent force behind all lasting change. It does not announce itself, and it does not demand recognition. It works quietly, shaping the mind and body through repetition. Morning practice is where consistency is trained without distraction. When you return each day, even with limited energy, you reinforce a relationship with yourself that does not depend on mood. Notice how the mind resists repetition. It wants novelty, excitement, and quick results. Repetition feels ordinary, and the mind often equates ordinary with unimportant. This is a misunderstanding. Repetition is how depth is created. Each time you repeat the same movement or breath, you meet it from a slightly different state. This difference reveals progress more honestly than excitement ever could. As the body moves through familiar patterns, attention can go deeper. You begin to notice details previously overlooked, subtle shifts in weight, small changes in breath, moments of unnecessary tension. These details are where refinement happens. Mastery is built from attention to what seems insignificant. Fatigue may appear, not only in the body, but in motivation. When this happens, simplify. Return to basics: breath, posture, awareness. Complexity is not a solution for low energy. Simplicity is. Simplicity conserves energy and restores clarity. Observe how emotions surface during practice. Irritation, boredom, doubt, even calm may appear without clear cause. Do not suppress these states. Allow them to exist without identification. Emotions are temporary conditions, not instructions. When you stop obeying them automatically, they lose their control. Your relationship with effort evolves through consistency. In the beginning, effort may feel heavy. Over time, it becomes efficient. Efficient effort feels lighter even when intensity increases. This is not because the work decreases, but because resistance decreases. Resistance is often heavier than the work itself. As awareness stabilizes, you may notice moments where practice feels ordinary and uneventful. This is not stagnation. This is integration. The nervous system is absorbing the training. During these periods, patience is essential. Growth does not always feel dramatic. Often it feels quiet. The morning environment supports this quiet work. Fewer demands, fewer distractions. Use this time to strengthen your ability to focus without stimulation. Focus trained in silence remains strong in noise. Focus trained in noise rarely survives silence. Pay attention to transitions. How you begin, how you move from one exercise to another, how you end a movement. These transitions reveal your level of presence. Rushed transitions indicate a restless mind. Smooth transitions indicate continuity of awareness. As days accumulate, identity begins to shift subtly. You no longer see practice as something you do. It becomes part of who you are. This shift reduces inner negotiation. When practice becomes identity, consistency becomes natural. The body responds to this reliability. It becomes more cooperative. Tension releases more easily. Recovery improves. The mind also responds. It becomes less reactive. more observant. These changes are gradual, but they are dependable. When difficulty arises in daily life, you may notice a pause before reaction. This pause is a direct result of morning practice. In that pause, choice becomes possible. Choice is the foundation of freedom. Do not underestimate small sessions done regularly. Long sessions done occasionally build capacity. Short sessions done daily build character. Character determines how you act under pressure when conditions are not ideal. As you continue, trust the process even when progress is not obvious. Trust grows from experience, not belief. Each morning you show up, you collect evidence. Evidence builds confidence. Confidence reduces doubt. The purpose of this practice is not to escape difficulty, but to meet it with stability. When stability becomes familiar, effort becomes purposeful rather than exhausting. Purposeful effort sustains you over time. Consistency transforms practice from an activity into a discipline. Discipline transforms discipline into embodiment. What is embodied does not need to be remembered. It is expressed naturally in how you stand, how you move, how you respond when the day asks more from you than expected. The morning reveals your relationship with effort before the world interferes. There is no audience, no reward, no pressure to perform. What remains is honesty. You see how willing you are to meet yourself without distraction. This honesty is more valuable than intensity. It shows you where you are, not where you wish to be. As practice continues, the distinction between training and living begins to blur. The same awareness you cultivate here becomes available in ordinary actions: walking, standing, listening, waiting. These moments are no longer empty. They become extensions of practice. This integration is the real measure of progress. Notice how the mind still seeks shortcuts. It wants to skip discomfort, skip uncertainty, skip repetition. Shortcuts promise speed, but they weaken foundation. A weak foundation collapses under pressure. Practice teaches you to value depth over speed, stability over appearance. As the body warms and settles, movements require less instruction. Awareness begins to lead naturally. This is not automation, it is embodiment. Embodiment means understanding has moved from concept into experience. When something is embodied, it does not require effort to remember. Breath remains the anchor throughout. When attention drifts, return to breath. When emotion rises, return to breath. When fatigue appears, return to breath. The breath is neutral. It does not judge your state. It supports you in any condition. You may notice that effort becomes more even. Early in practice, energy spikes and drops. With time, it smooths out. This evenness conserves strength. Conserved strength increases endurance. Endurance allows you to remain steady when demands increase. The body teaches patience in ways the mind cannot. Holding a posture or maintaining slow movement reveals how quickly impatience appears. Staying with this impatience without reacting to it trains emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is not suppression. It is tolerance without collapse. As awareness deepens, subtle discomforts become easier to notice. These signals allow adjustment before strain becomes injury. Listening early prevents damage later. This principle applies equally to relationships, work, and health. Practice also reveals how often you add unnecessary effort. Muscles tighten where support is available. The breath shortens when there is no threat. The mind anticipates problems that are not present. By noticing these patterns, you begin to let them go. Letting go restores efficiency. Efficiency is not laziness. It is alignment. When effort is aligned, less is wasted. What remains becomes powerful. Quiet power does not announce itself. It acts when needed and rests when not. As you move through the practice, Maintain curiosity. Curiosity keeps attention open without tension. Judgment narrows attention and creates resistance. Curiosity invites learning. Learning keeps practice alive even when form remains the same. There will be days when practice feels light and days when it feels heavy. Both are necessary. Light days teach ease. Heavy days teach commitment. Commitment is revealed when conditions are not ideal. The morning becomes a reference point. When the day pulls you in many directions, you remember the quality you cultivated earlier. You may not always return to it fully, but even partial return reduces reactivity. Reduced reactivity prevents unnecessary conflict. Over time, you may notice changes that are difficult to measure. You recover faster from stress. You respond rather than react. You maintain posture under pressure. These changes indicate integration. Integration is subtle, but it is durable. Practice does not remove difficulty from life. It removes unnecessary struggle. Struggle is often created by resistance to what is already happening. When resistance softens, effort becomes appropriate rather than excessive. This training develops trust in process. Trust reduces the need for constant evaluation. When evaluation decreases, attention is freed. Freed attention can meet each moment fully. Morning practice is a daily renewal of this trust. Each breath reinforces it. Each movement stabilizes it. Each moment of awareness strengthens it. What is strengthened in silence expresses itself in action when silence is no longer available. This entire practice points to one simple truth. The way you begin shapes the way you continue. By training yourself to meet the morning with awareness, patience, and steady effort, you create a foundation that supports every action that follows. The breath becomes your anchor, the body becomes your guide, and the mind learns to respond instead of react. What starts as a quiet routine gradually becomes a way of living, where calm strength replaces tension, clarity replaces confusion, and consistency replaces struggle. When you master how you show up in the morning, you no longer need to chase control throughout the day because stability is already within you, ready to be carried into whatever the day demands.